Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our weekly live show. My name is Eva and I'm your host. So excited to talk about content and 5 pillars of content today with you. Number one, congratulations to everybody who's registered into our July 3-day retreat. I am so excited about what you're going to be learning. For those of you who don't know me, I am a single mom to a 16-month-old, and I have been able to grow my business in the past about 20 months from literally zero to multi 7 figures using the methods that we teach. And it was definitely easy. Doesn't mean it's complicated. It's definitely a little bit uncomfortable and having to do the most scariest things, but the things that brought the most transformation to myself and to the people that I was working with. And what's even more exciting, that is that our clients have been able to do it much faster. So welcome to this session. This is a fairly quick session today. We're going to be talking about the 5 pillars of content. So first of all, what I see with folks, by the way, if you're here, if you're watching this, I know that like streaming in different groups, say hi. You have to give StreamYard permission in order for me to see your name, but let me know where you're joining from. Welcome. So first of all, when I talk about 5 pillars of content, what I don't mean is lots and lots of content all over, going everywhere. That is not the point, okay? Kind of what I was doing before on this growth journey was trying to make all the posts literally just, Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram and all those things. It was kind of crazy, and, different groups, and it was, not really getting me anywhere because it wasn't the right content. It wasn't creating any kind of difference for the people that I was with, right? The people I was communicating with. Okay, so let's talk about what successful content needs to do for you. So 3 things, and I encourage you, grab a pen and paper and write this down. Number 1, it needs to give people extreme clarity, right? Like extreme clarity, not just like tips and tricks on like this combobulated thing over here and then thing over there. It needs to give people extreme clarity about what it's actually going to take for them to get to the end goal, right? And I hope everybody's clear on what the end goal is for your clients. Okay, we're in rain season. Hopefully you guys can't hear that, but there's some thunderstorming going in here in Costa Rica. Anyway, so it needs to give people like what are the steps that they need to take that to be true, not just some like made up random steps that they need to actually take on their journey to get the result, the end result, whatever that is, right? For us is for our clients reaching 6 and 7 figures in personal transformation in the process. For your clients, it might be acquiring or building the perfect relationship, or it might be reconnecting with their kids or losing 30 pounds or whatever it is. Like, what are those steps, right? Giving people extreme clarity about why what hasn't worked and what do they need to do to, get them there, right? Number 2, what your content needs to do is position you above everybody else. So I realized this pretty early in our business. When it comes to like business building, for example, there is so many people teaching you the tactics and, how to do reels on Instagram and how to do Snapchat and how to create an email sequence and how to do a freebie and how to build a pocket product. And, quite frankly, like you can literally like just go to YouTube and you'll find all the free information under the sun, right? What is required of you to scale your business is to build a world-class brand that is unique, that is different, that is, the level of content is above everybody else. So this is where you need to stop stalking everybody else on Instagram and looking at what all the other people are doing, right? We've all been there. I did that at the beginning for quite some time too. Like, I just didn't trust my own content. So it's kind of looking at what everybody else is doing until I realized it's really, really not getting me anywhere. And really, you need to look at, okay, what are people not talking about? What is the next level of solutions that people need, right? And, we talk about, that's why our retreats are so, so, so strategic, and they bring you all the steps in your business that you need to actually scale, instead of focus on a single tactic, be it, just lead gen, or be it just, learning how to launch, or learning it on just how to do a sales call. Because I'm like, I really want people to understand what it actually takes to get their business done, which, by the way, takes as much as the strategies as the spiritual / mindset piece, right? So, really, really up level your content. Think about what it actually takes for people to succeed. Don't lead with just the tactics, because that is so, so, so overdone in our space. Okay. And number 3, what it needs to do is inspire people into action, right? And that is kind of the art of positioning. But what you really need to explain to people why they should do what you're telling them to do, right? It's literally giving it the what's in it for them, right? That's the art of positioning. What's in it for them? What is it going to do for them? Why is this important? Okay, so those are kind of the 3 things you need to have in mind. So I'm going to recap this for you, right? So number 1, it needs to give people extreme clarity about the pathway to the end goal, okay? Number 2, it needs to position you above everybody else, okay? Above everybody else. Teaching the strategic, not the what everybody else is doing. Like all the nitty gritty tactical how to, checklists and scripts and freebies. Oh my gosh, right? That's just going to get you the people who just want the next piece of free content and moving on. And then really, truly inspiring people into action. And that's an art of leadership, and that's an art of positioning. And quite honestly, it took me a while, in the retreats that we do to get that dialed that in. Like at the beginning, it was just like pulling teeth, nobody was doing their homework. Nobody was engaging. People were just like looking at me like a television. I'm like, all right, cool, right? So it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me to really get effective as a coach, not just with my clients, but also a coach on camera. So, people, there's a thing that comes up quite a bit. When your content is converting, is doing stuff, people are liking it, and all of a sudden it stops. And I've talked about it quite a bit on my podcast recently, because we are moving through the same transition. Okay. And, kind of where like the same content is still good, and I'm much better teaching it than I was before. But all of a sudden it stops converting, or it stops doing anything, right? And people stop engaging with it. And you can think like, oh, maybe it's the platform. Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe Facebook is. Okay, am I back, you guys? I don't know if you guys can hear me, but the weather in Costa Rica is getting the best of my internet, but hopefully I'm back. Can you guys? Yay! I'm back. Awesome. I was like, it's going to be a half hour, I think, but thankfully it wasn't. So just to recap what I had said, right? So what the content needs to do is give people extreme clarity, position you above everybody else, and inspire people into action, okay? So when your content isn't working, because we have been going through that I will tell you it's because you have outgrown it. You have most likely outgrown it. And where you are on your spiritual journey, where you're in an evolution as a business owner, as a teacher, as a coach, is no longer a match for what you're teaching. When what you're putting out there is in perfect alignment with your purpose, that's when it's going to resonate. Does that make sense to everybody? I really want you to look. Is what you're teaching, right? If it's boring you to death, if it's like, oh my God, I'm going to shoot myself in my head because I've literally taught how to do, how to develop a signature talk. I've taught it like 10 times. I cannot continue doing this. That's probably because it's now for other people to teach it, but there is a different topics. There are different topics for you that you need to be working with. Okay. So hope that makes sense to you guys. So before we go there, I'm going to give you some tips on how to create that content, how to think of your topics. But before we go there, I want to deal with some mindset stuff. Because we just did in our program, we just literally, like, what we did is compiled 75 different blind spots that people have, different blocks that people have around content, around sales, around making decisions, investing in their business, yada, yada, yada. And some of those things, are really, really preventing them from stepping really fully into the leader on camera in a content that they need to be. So it's things like, fearing people saying, who does she think she is teaching this stuff, right? Or being afraid of being seen as arrogant, like I know it all, right? Give me a thumbs up or one in the chat if you're relating to any of these, right? Or this is one that came up for almost everybody. I want to say this is like 85% of the folks that were on our Monday call. And actually, it's coming up for me quite a bit too. The fear of being seen as unqualified to teach this, right? And funny thing, this shows up for people who have even PhD on the topic, right? Like, we have clients in the program that have a PhD on coaching what they're coaching, and they're still coming up against this, I'm not qualified to teach this, right? So this is not a matter of actual qualification. This is a thing that shows up for almost everybody. And it's honestly showing up for me big time because, I have no I have no degree as a mindset coach. I have 0 certifications for anything. Business, okay, I have an MBA. But like business-wise, mindset-wise, all the stuff that I've taught, all the stuff that I'm guiding our clients through, I have 0 business doing it. It's just the stuff that I have been able to, more or less work through, the stuff that I have been dealing with on my journey, and the stuff that have been guiding other people through over the years, right? But I had no degree, no certificate. I don't even have ICF, never will, none of that. I'm like literally the most undercertified person you will ever meet, right? And the reason I don't get any of these certifications because I learned that, from watching my clients, that doesn't do anything for your mindset, right? About it. You'll still feel underqualified. So, oh, hi, Luisa. Zelda says, yep. Awesome. Right? So you really, really want to be careful about that. And I will tell you, if you feel a little bit underqualified to teach for your teaching, and you feel a little bit of resistance, it's like, I should still, get clear on A, B, and C before I go teach it. That is the content. Those are the topics you need to be teaching. That is the stuff that the world and the universe and God is asking of you to be teaching. The mind's not going to like it, but that is the stuff. So what I want for you to do today is to actually get really courageous and ask yourself, if I had zero fear of people thinking I'm unqualified or arrogant, or who am I to teach this stuff, or any kind of reaction from anybody, what would you actually be teaching? What would you actually be teaching? And feel free to put that in the chat if you have the courage to do so, right? Because when that becomes a match, guys, that is when the business starts growing, and that's when the money really starts coming in too. And your nervousness about it or lack of experience teaching it, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I will tell you, I convert better on camera when I don't know what I'm talking about. When I'm like a little bit nervous, a little bit unsure, should I be teaching this? That's when I convert at much higher levels than when I have a topic I'm totally comfortable with. I've taught it 15 times and, it's a no-brainer to me. That's when I stop converting. And this goes back to the number one spiritual principle that I teach over and over and over, is that in order for your business to be successful, it needs to be pushing you. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I feel like I'm shouting through the rain here. Can you guys hear me okay? I can almost hear myself because it's so loud, the rain. So the business, really, in order for the business to grow, right, it needs to be pushing you to grow as well, right? So your business is a tool for spiritual transformation, right? If you're in the zone of comfort, your business ain't gonna grow. It just isn't. That's when you're gonna stay flat. When you're in the right sweet spot of being uncomfortable, confronted, I don't know if I'm qualified to do this. I have no idea if anybody's going to want to work with me. I don't know if anybody's going to buy. Like, this is an entirely new program. Is this even going to resonate with anybody? I have no idea. But I feel really passionate about this, because this has made a difference for me. I'm not quite ready to share this, but I will anyway. Right? That's the topic for you. Now, the mind will throw you for a loop with this, okay? Because now you're sitting here and thinking, well, I don't know what the topic is, right? And you sit down and think, and you're like, I have no idea what that content topic is. I feel I'm drawing a blank. Has anybody felt that? Like you're just sitting and I don't know what I'm supposed to be teaching, a blank, and just kind of confused. Should I be teaching this? Should I be teaching that? That's where, I call it the foggy protector, right? It's the fog. It's a part of the mind that wants to protect you from stepping into your full purpose, your full power, right? Because that is scary. Once you know what that thing is, you need to be teaching about. You actually have to go and teach it, right? And so people get so unclear and so confused about what I'm supposed to be teaching about. What's the ideal client I want to attract? What should my program be? And they're going to be in confusion for weeks and months and sometimes years. That means that your mind is doing a good job protecting you, right? Because your mind, the only reason your mind exists is to protect you from, dying and to keep you safe. So you have all these protective parts, and the foggy, confused part is one of my favorites to deal with. And it's keeping you from clarity, right? So if you are sitting this afternoon and you're like, okay, I really don't know what that mildly scary content topic that I need to be talking about, I don't know what that is. I just can't see it. I'm drawing a blank. I don't feel, like sit with that part and see if you can unblend from it. Maybe if you can talk to it and ask it to step aside so you can be making those decisions from your spiritual self, from your soul self, that is, by the way, very clear. But then notice, once you know what that topic is, all the mind, all the parts that are going to come back and do this yeah, but, right? The yeah, but thing. Somebody write this down. Like, yeah, but means you're on the right track. You think of a topic and you have the mindset, yeah, but people won't want to hear about this. Yeah, but it's kind of hard to teach. Yeah, but I've never taught this before. It's too risky. I'm not qualified to teach this. It's going to be awkward because I might be oversharing, TMI, this and that, right? That's when you know you are up to something. Okay? So that gives you some food for thought. As far as your 5 content pillars, what you want to start with is your actual method. Your formula, your model, your method, your process, same thing. Same thing. You got to have that. You got to be very clear about what are the steps. It doesn't have to be 5. It can be 3. It can be 10. Well, 10 is a little bit too much to explain to people. Something around 5 steps that you know in your heart to be true, that your people will need to go through to achieve the transformation. Okay? So you start with that. You have your formula, your method, and then you take each pillar of your method, right? We have the serve method. I've been teaching this, I don't know for how long. The letters have changed. It's changing and evolving what it stands for because I'm changing and evolving, right? How I run my business, the things that I use, so on and so forth, strategy, mindset, all those things change. But there's always core pillars that I go out there with, right? And, the biggest core, the central core is the evolution, right? So your spiritual evolution goes hand in hand in business evolution, right? So that's one of the pillars. And it kind of like everything I talk about goes back to that, right? Because without thinking of how this is growing you, if you're just doing random tactics, of course it's not going to work. It's not going to do anything for you, right? You can be on the platforms and on the TikToks and the Snapchats. It's going to do nothing for you if it's not supporting your evolution. So I gotta, before I jump, a special announcement for you. Our retreat is on July 19th. If you're in the July 19th retreat group, you're in the right place. If you're watching this somewhere else, you're in the wrong place. What's happening on July 19th is a completely new, redesigned, very, very, very mindset and spiritually focused, first match with the right strategy for you. Starts on July 19th at 1 p.m. EST. And we have 3, listen up, we have 3 important prep work elements that are going to make sure that you use this retreat to go to 6 and 7 and multi-7 figures in your business, okay? Because in the past, we have seen some people are super successful, right? And some people kind of watch it as a television and, write some notes, maybe file them away, and then nothing happens. I want this to be the most transformative workshop that you have ever attended. That is my promise to you. We have been working tirelessly to redesign the thing, to really make it effective. We start with a live onboarding Zoom call tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Okay? What we're going to cover is number one, the serve method, the spiritual and the business principles that go hand in hand. What do you actually need to have in place to move up with your mindset and move up in your business? Because one feeds the other. It goes like this, right? I'm going to explain it in a charts to you guys tomorrow. I'm very, very excited. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern. It's on a Zoom, right? Email is just about to go out with the information for the people who are registered, okay? We're going to meet and talk about the serve method, the principles, and you will be creating your own method, right? Your own method or model or formula. You're going to be finishing it for a homework. And then you're going to be connecting with either Masha or Ildiko to get a feedback on your methods, because there's oftentimes you don't see until you see it, right? We have our mind spots, our confused parts, and we over-engineer things. Sometimes you're going to have their eyes on the creative side of your method. By the way, this is the method that you're going to be known for 10, 15, 20 years down the road. You're going to be writing books on your method, right? So super, super important to get clear on that. Even if you have one, use this time to really clarify and to up-level it to the next version of you, right? Because the living, breathing thing, if I taught the same serve method that I did, 6 months ago, nobody would even come and watch, because energetically it can feel it's a disconnect. It needs to be a living, breathing thing. It needs to evolve with you. So if you have your own method, come up level it. Okay, so that's number one. Zoom onboarding call tomorrow. Okay, it's gonna get you juices from it. It's gonna get you ready for the retreat, so that when we hit day one, you know exactly what it is that you're teaching, that you're bringing to the market in your own virtual retreat. Okay. Number two, connect with your implementation coaches, Ildiko and Masha. Okay. Okay, first of all, what they're going to do for you. Number one, they will have your worksheet. Not quite yet, because we're still iterating. They will have alternative onboarding times for you. If you can't make the call tomorrow, they will be able to give you access to alternative onboarding times. And they will be helping you implement the roadmap, customize and implement the roadmap that is presented each day to your situation. So you're like, okay, who should I connect with? If you're already in the group now, you probably have a message from one of them. So check your outside inbox. If you have a message from somebody else, you don't have a message from them. If your last name starts with A through K, go connect with Ildiko, okay? And we're going to put her link, or she's going to put a link in the chat. If your last name starts with L through Z, go connect with Masha, okay? And just say hi. I need alternative times, so I need to connect with you about the retreat. They are extremely, extremely good business strategists, and they're going to help you customize what we're teaching. What should your retreat be? What should your offer be in the retreat? How does your sales process look like based on the level in your business? Should you even be launching into hybrid? Should you be launching into one-on-one, stuff like that, okay? And number three, we posted agenda in the retreat group. Once you're there, if you're not that, you gotta get yourself registered and all that. But we posted a few minutes ago, we posted agenda, and it has the days 1, 2, 3. It has the Zoom link. It has the times. So make sure you save that and you have that on your calendar and literally clear your schedule. Could you listen to the recordings? Yeah, but we're not going to record the whole thing. Why? Because it's going to be quite experiential. There's no way to replicate that in a recording. There is going to be, every day there's going to be some level of some kind of visioning. We're going to be doing breakout rooms, and we're going to put you in rooms with other entrepreneurs at your level. You're going to be in dyads. You're going to be in triads. You're going to be sharing some ideas as you're flashing that out, and you're going to be learning from each other too. And most importantly, you're going to be creating some beautiful, beautiful connections. Which was what I think everybody needs, right? To get the creative juices flowing, and oftentimes we can really bounce ideas off of each other, and especially when you're birthing an idea. Right? It's so easy to talk yourself out of it until other people hear, like, damn, this is really brilliant. You should be teaching this, right? And the funny thing, sometimes people wind up in the same breakout room that have exactly the same, I don't know how that happens, but it's exactly the same coaching practice. And now they're like brainstorming together, partnering together. It tends to be quite synchronistic that way, okay? So that's for days 1, 2, 3. We're going to be doing advanced VIP content for days 4 to 7. There's going to be application to attend. It's going to be only with a small VIP group of people. And we're going to be making announcements about that on a Zoom call tomorrow. This is going to be a pretty intimate version. So I really get to work with you, and my team really gets to work with those of you who are pretty serious. And it's not just like, the next training and then jumping up to the next free training, because we're really, really committed to making this successful for you. Because here's the thing, the results that we have seen in the past retreat are like next to none. We have had people come here and do their own retreat. 5 weeks later, generate $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 in their first retreat, right? Some of them were already in business, and some of them were at the beginning, literally like having a client or two. So anything is possible. All depends on you and your mindset, and are you willing to really put the work in? I hold very little back, unless it overwhelms you, I will give it to you. We literally want, what my legacy is to really give you the entire step-by-step, but also like the transformation that comes with it, right? Because I could give you all the information, it's not going to do anything. So we're going to be doing some of the mindset work as well. And, some really some visioning, well, you're in for a treat for some of the days. We're going to be bringing you some, let's just say you're going to be digging in your subconscious a little to really unblock some of those things. And it's a beautiful thing. And I really want to create an atmosphere where people just, where it's a safe environment and people feel free to share and all that. So, how to show up, Number one, we do things very differently. Like, we really believe that any problem on the outside does have a source on the inside, right? So we don't really go and blame other coaches or the market or the economy or whatever. There's always something that the world is showing you or the business is showing you, and you're going to unblock that, right? Number two, this is going to be, a pretty vulnerable space for a lot of people. So I ask everybody who's attending to be supportive and kind, to us and to everybody else, right? We have a lot of people on Zoom. Usually it's like hundreds of people on day one. And, and usually on day one, we have some, all caps and I can't handle this and whatever. So we're going to kick the people out. Just heads up. And we're going to make sure this is a safe environment for everybody once we go into the sharing. So you're not stuck in a breakout room or in a diet, So just everybody just be really, really supportive and kind to each other and support each other's experience. Number three, this is a retreat, not a television. Okay. So the sharing is how you get the feedback. So be ready to be on camera, pretty please, ready to connect. You don't have to look great, you don't have to, you can be in your pajamas, that's fine too. It's not a professional retreat, but, be ready to connect with other people like you. This is a very, very, we just, it's the entrepreneurs who come to these are phenomenal. They're really, really sweet. Nobody's going to judge you if you don't look perfect on camera, but be on camera and go chat and connect with Ildiko and Masha and send me a message too, if you have questions or anything. I don't know if this is right for me, we will do different breakout sessions in the bonus cohort, in the bonus VIP content based on your level too, because we have people all the way from the very beginning to people who already have $1 million business, because guess what? The spiritual principles apply to everybody. But we're going to cohortize some of the breakouts so that you really get your answers based on where you're at, right? Because that's important. If you're already at 300,000, the strategy is going to be a little bit different than if you're just starting out and trying to launch your business and get a first set of clients. So there's going to be some cohort based. It's the same thing in our program. We have 0 all the way to multi 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs. So the principles, the spiritual principles and strategies always apply, but there's some nuances you're going to implement based on where you're at. So I'm really, really excited to connect with you guys. So write this down tomorrow. Okay, so you have Ildiko and Masha in the chat. So remember, if your last name is at the beginning of the alphabet, I think you with Ildiko. If you're in the other, I don't know what the letters are. You guys can put in a chat too with Masha, unless you're already connected with one of them. We're streamlining this so that, we don't have everybody, you're not getting communicated from all sides. So we'll support you through that. And again, tomorrow, our onboarding call, we're going to get the strategic download and the overview of the retreat. And you're going to start working on your formula. That's happening at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So make sure you get the Zoom link for that. It's posted in the top of the group. Your advisor also has it if you need alternative time. Your implementation coach has that too. They can tell you what is the time next week if you can't make it tomorrow. Super, super excited to spend the retreat week with you. Congratulations on anybody who's registered. If you're not, go get yourself registered. Somebody's going to put a link in the chat in whichever group you're watching this in, or just text Alina and she can send you to the right group. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you tomorrow on our onboarding.